হ্যাঁ বলছি আপনি জয়েন করছেন, সকলে চলে এসছেন? হ্যাঁ সকলে। এই, হ্যাঁ
আরে বুঝলে
আপনাকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে দিয়েছি তো, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে দিয়েছি আপনার। হ্যাঁ হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ সুজির নামে আছে, একটু দেখুন। হ্যাঁ টাইম হয়ে গেছে। ওকে স্যার, স্টার্ট স্টার্ট করছি। হ্যাঁ স্যার, ওকে ওকে। হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ পলক দা,
yes, yes.
স্যার স্যার,
Okay, okay.
ওকে সাউন্ড ইজ ওকে, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, then I am going to start. Very very good morning to everyone present here. I am Dr. Surajit Dept, convener of this international webinar. I will be moderating the webinar. With curiosity in mind and anticipation in my heart, I take this privilege to extend a hearty warm welcome to all you joined here on this international webinar on environment development and sustainability on behalf of our organizing committee. Before we get started, let me throw some light on the topic of this webinar. In this democratic civilization, to achieve true sustainability, we need to balance economic, social, and environmental sustainability factors in equal harmony. Dr. Amartya Sen says, what are we trying to sustain? Is it the nature around us or the lives that we can live on nature? Today we have invited respected guest speakers to keep their views on these issues through their valuable and insightful presentation. The academic exchange through webinar over digital platform has offered us a magnificent opportunity to crunch our intellectual sides, and we are lucky we have a massive responses near about 600 from various parts of our countries and also abroad, like Bangladesh, Zambia, Abu Dhabi, Philippines, Romania, Nigeria, Ghana, Baramulla, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Indonesia, Dubai, Afghanistan, and near about 100 participants from abroad. We are feeling very proud to share with you that participation from 15 countries have joined with us, more than 15. I would extend my wholehearted gratitude to all the illustrious participants for spending their valuable time. Participants should feel happy that there is galaxy of distinguished here. We want to express our gratitude to all the honorable invited guest speakers, Professor Molay Mukhopadhyay from Vishwa Bharati, Shantiniketan, Professor Biplab Biswas from the University of Bardhaman, Professor A.R.M. Basu Rai from Coachbihar Panchanan Barma University. Thank you, sir. All you have spared your precious time for us and grace this webinar. You are present here. It is honor to be surrounded by so many special individuals on this webinar. So I assured the participants that all the webinar shall be full of exuberance and excitement. I am expressing my sincere gratitude to all the invited speakers again for accepting our invitation and taking their precious time out and gracing the webinar with their presence. Thank you, sir. Now, if you kindly allow me to briefly introduce to our college, which is a 123 years old higher educational institution located in the state of West Bengal. Our GB President, Mr. Naresh Chandra Bauri, has unable to join with us due to his busy schedule, but he sent his support and good wishes to all. Our Honorable Principal Sir Dr. Gautam Chatterjee and IQAC Coordinator, respected Dr. Pallab Jyoti Pal, of our college, and also the assistant professor of Krishna Chandra College Department of Chemistry, Sabal Kumar Jas, also have with us. Their presence will be the source of encouragement and confidence to us. Now, at the outset, it's my privilege to invite respected Principal Sir, Dr. Gautam Chatterjee, for his inaugural speech, who is very dynamic personality himself, who encourages us out of the box with ideas, innovation, and also its execution. Please, sir. Please, sir. Principal Sir, please.
Okay. Very good morning to all of you. I am hearable to all of you.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is my great pleasure that welcome you here in this morning in this international webinar organized by Department of Geography and also by IQAC. It is a matter of great pleasure and excitement that we have within us four such great resource persons, namely Dr. Malay Mukhopadhyay, Dr. Biplav বিশ্বাস, Dr. Aaron Tawfiqul Islam, and Dr. P.L. Bosu Rai. We are very pleased, and on behalf of my college, on behalf of my governing body, on behalf of my IQAC, on behalf of my teaching, non-teaching staff and students, I personally, as a principal of Krishna Chandra College, welcome to all of you, sir. It is our great pleasure that in this platform, we are in this morning together. Our college is situated in a very remote place, that is in a village, but we try our best to give our students like our various seminars, organizations, webinar. Actually, today's topic is sustainable development with sustainable development. One day I asked some students what they mean by the species man, or how they would like to define man. A few replied that man was the only living intelligent species in the world. One student defined man as an animal with brain, and another said man, animal with a mind. All these answers had semblance of truth, but they obviously failed to hit the mark because man has a great, exceptional work, that is transforming capacity. Man has only one creature in the world throughout the ages tried to transform the environment. In his effort to transform environment, man may create disturbance that might prove harmful to environment. Such disturbances are in fact inherent in human productivity activities, because without productivity activities, there is no modernization, there is no civilization. So it is needed. But be careful. Starting in the period when man learned to make use of fire, that is the starting of harmfulness to the environment, that is hurt to the environment. Here, I try to say that urbanization development is necessary, and man make this urbanization development. Without development, without urbanization, it is not possible. But take care about the environment. That is sustainable development is also necessary. So, we expect that we listen to some guidelines from our respected guest that should be helpful for our future planning. I do not longer my talk. Again, welcome to all of you to our institution. Hope that this webinar will be successful in fostering greater communication and interaction among the members present here. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your inaugural address and for being backbone by constantly motivating and inspiring us. May I now invite respected Dr. Pallab Jyotipal, IQAC coordinator of Krishna Chandra College, to grace the webinar by his valuable opinion. Sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Surojit Dept. Thank you also our principal sir, and very good morning to our respected speakers, and very good morning to our all dear participants. On behalf of IQAC, I would like to welcome you all in this international webinar organized by our Department of Geography in collaboration with IQAC of this college. I am thankful to the Department of Geography for organizing such an international webinar. A special thanks goes to Dr. Surojit Lech and the other teacher members of the department. They are very much energetic, very much dedicated towards the college. Now, a gentle request to all our participants. We all know, we all conversant about the etiquette of a virtual meeting. So I request, except the speakers, participants are requested to mute their microphones and camera off for the smooth conduct of the webinar. Please do not press the present screen button during the entire program. If you have any queries, please write in the chat box. Please do not write anything like any greeting, any salutation, or any self-introduction messages in the Google Meet chat box or in YouTube chat box. At the end of the webinar, a feedback form will be provided to you. Certificates will be prepared from the information that you are providing in the feedback form. So please fill up the form very carefully. This college, Krishna Chandra College, is a rural college, you all know. It is the first rural college of undivided Bengal. It was established in 1897. We have a huge number of alumni. The alumni and the present student always made us proud during the years. This college is accredited by NAC in grade B in the new system. This college is enlisted to receive DBT Star College grant this year. The pandemic situation of COVID around the globe would not dampen the spirit of us. Teachers and students interact through online platform following proper schedule. And above all, we are joined here in such type of international webinar where the participants from the 16 countries have joined. So we are waiting for the new days after COVID period. It is very true, but the COVID do not dampen our spirit. I repeat once again. We have 4 lectures today from our 4 eminent resource persons. They have joined. Enjoy the session. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you once again for the participation. Thank you all.
Surjit, on the microphone of the mobile.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge about this topic and also for the sharing of housekeeping information to the participants. And I would like to take a moment to acknowledge Dr. Pallab Jyotipal for his immense support and motivation. Actually, he set up a high benchmark in the front of us for our institution. Thank you once again, sir. Now I shall not lengthen my speech anymore. So without further ado, we turn the time over to our guest speaker. It's my profound pleasure and place to welcome one of the esteemed and renowned personality, I should say teacher of all teachers, who is always been a source of motivation and inspiration. He is our very respected professor, Dr. Molay Mukherjee. And after taking his name, a question suddenly comes in my mind: how do we introduce someone who is known everyone? He is very distinguished academician and an educator who is presently teaching in the Department of Geography, Vishwavarati, Shantiniketan, as a professor, and also was former head of this department. Since more than 3 decades, he is teaching here and supervised 19 PhD scholars for their doctoral degree. He is very famous and well-known personality for his immense passion on river, who installed marker stones at the source of various rivers, such as River Ajoy, Kopai, Kunu, Karola, Kumari, etc., which is accepted and also appreciated worldwide. He is also well known for trekking all along various rivers such as Tarakini, Kopai, Ajoy, Moraki, so on, etc., and even also River Thames of England. Being a senior professor, he has taken out time for several creations, which includes exploratory books on subject-oriented topics, uploading short stories, poems, novels. Famous books of his was গল্প ভূগোল নিয়ে, কথা ছবি, ভুল পথে বাঁকে, এভারেস্ট থেকে নায়াগ্রা, পরিবেশ ভাবনা অন্য চোখে, etc. Very passionately, he spent days with various tribal communities also, such as Ongi, Kani, Santal, Apatani, etc. And he was invited in various countries for academic purposes such as USA, China, Canada, Sri Lanka, England, Thailand, Mexico, Korea, Bangladesh, and so many lists. His research interests include fluvial geomorphology, water resource, environmental pollution, and various socio-cultural perspectives. He regularly contributes prominent newspaper and journals also. I would like to share another identity about Dr. Molay Mukherjee, that he is also a phenomenist, a collector of matchbox. Till now, he has more than 3,000 collections of matchbox. And taking this matchbox, he has also organized many exhibitions in various parts of our country. These are little minute details of his work. Today he is going to deliver his valuable presentation on impact of developmental policies on landscape sustainability. Now I am requesting to Molaida, please put light on this topic. Molaida.
Thank you very much, Shurujit. I'm really honored as you have given a description or introduction about me. You see, your webinar attracts me in many ways. First of all, the title of your webinar, that is Environment, Development and Sustainability. And your college, that is Krishna Chandra College of Hetampur. I visited your college several times, and I was attracted with your environment within the college premises as well as the discipline of your college. So I convey my regards to the principal, Sir Gautam Chatterjee, and all your colleagues and the members of your college And I feel honored that I'm being one of the speakers of your uh, this webinar. When I got the invitation from your part, that means from your college, from your principal, then I was rather allured by the topics of your webinar. Today we are really in dilemma, which will be right track for us to go forward, to go for our future. Now I'd like to take little time to bring my PPT on my screen, just a matter of 2 to 3 seconds only. Can you see my PPT? Is it visible? Is it visible? Hello?
No.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Okay.
Now you see that the topic is the impact of developmental policies on landscape sustainability. All we are very much concerned about the sustainability of our lifestyle, our environment, our economic status. Now, being a geographer, like me, the other geographers also, we are very much concerned about the landscape sustainability. I want to give a few examples what I have noticed. And being a geographer, I'm very much worried about how we will overcome this problem. And if you see our earth, you see the earth is painted with various landscape. If you see the earth from a distance, you can enjoy that there is some patches for desert, some patches for ice cap areas, some patches for mountainous regions, some patches for coastal areas. So these are painted with the landscape features. But with the advance of our knowledge, we are getting the importance of those landscape features, and we make our livelihood in accord with the landscape feature what we are getting in a particular area. So through this landscape study, we can understand the earth configuration as well as the character of the subsurface. Recently, we have come to know, recently since last decade, centuries back, we have come to know there is a huge reserves of water in our subsurface, and that we came to know through our landscape study process. So understanding of our land surface and subsurface is a science through a science that is geomorphological study. And with the help of the advancement of our knowledge, in geomorphological study, we understand the land is ready to give so many things to the mankind, but we have to accept it, we have to handle it very carefully. At present, one of my colleague, or better to say, he's my brother, Professor Biplav Bishas. He's a renowned scientist in the field of remote sensing, GIS, and all this. Through the experiment and through his knowledge, we are getting the various dimensions in our landscape study. So we can prepare the mapping of a particular area with an enormous, intensity of knowledge, as well as we may get so many feedback from the landscape study. And with the advancement of our knowledge, we prepared a huge number of the maps from different angles, from different horizons. Now, that is the various new horizons have come up in recent landscape study. He knows better than me, but I have come to know that even we can prepare a map of the 6 centimeters variation with the help of the drone and with the help of the intense study. But from this, the various new horizons have come up. We are in a really problem. We must think, we must find out the way by which we can overcome that problem. That is the sustainability of the landscape. I'd like to give a few examples. Number one, that is the construction of Farakka Barrage for the sustenance of the Calcutta port. 1970s, we sat together and we started construct this across the river Ganga to divert the water through feeder canal to feed the Calcutta port, because Calcutta port was suffering from enormous deposition through the high tide, low tide process in that littoral Bengal or in the lower Bengal. My question is that to revive the Calcutta port, we construct this barrage that is against the landscape. The Ganga, it was in a normal form, and all we geographers, we know the river, it has a particular character. It meander, and it has a typical dynamism in its formation, in its development. But we construct this barrage across this and disturb the normal system dynamism of that part for reviving Calcutta port or sustaining the Calcutta port. I'm not criticizing this program, but being a geographer, when I see this, when I consider this case or this program, I am really shocked because the entire landscape system of that area is spoiled. And you see the next one, that is the map of that area. This is the Bhutni Diara. This is the one island, river island. And to protect this island, we construct the embankment, encircle this island, and which actually disturb or alter the normal mechanism of the flow. And then the flow from this direction to turns into that direction, and then it thrust in this area, and the erosion started in an enormous form. Villages like Panchandapur, Gopalpur, all they were suffering from the massive bank erosion. In normal form, this was not there. With the construction of this barrage, we created this, and the landscape of this area is totally, disturbed or spoiled of this. Being a geographer, we are not happy with this system because it's a man-made problem. We are altering the landscape. system of that area. And this is the dredging system in Calcutta port near Calcutta. Then what a wastage of money, as well as we want to dictate the total physical component of that area. We want to dictate, and we want to just dredge that portion to allow the big vessels through that line. But we are throwing the silt from one part to another part. To me, it's just a wastage of money. But being a geographer, being an environmentalist, we must know that every system, it will change. The formation of the river bed deposition will be changed. And today where we are getting river, tomorrow there will not be. And in the normal form, it will shift from that part to other part. And from that point, I want to say the Calcutta port, the deposition along the Calcutta port, it is a normal process. No one can stop it. And by this, we are altering the landscape of that area. River bed configuration we are changing, and that is the question of the sustainability. And you see that I told you that in my earlier map that this portion is under erosion, and the bank is under erosion, severe erosion, and for that we are bringing boulders from nearby hills and plateaus for pitching the river bank to stop the bank erosion. What a funny thing is going on there. Thousands of thousands of the boulders are dragging from in and around hills and plateau areas. That means by that way, we are again altering the landscape system sustainability. We are spoiling the river at this point, and we are again spoiling the hills like the Mamabhagne Pahad of Birbhum. The contractor, they took boulders from Mamabhagne Pahad to pitch that bank erosion to protect the bank erosion. So being a geographer, I am protesting. Like me, the local people, they were protesting. And by that, now no one can take a single boulder from Mamabhagne Pahad. That is the question of sustainability, right? The next part, that is the Sundarban area. To prevent intrusion of the saline water within the island, the Sundarban affect the normal landscape development. To protect the islands, we are just encircling with the embankment. You see that all the islands are encircled with the embankment. That means we do not allow to enter the saline water in that island because my habitation is there, my agricultural land is there. With the construction of the embankment, we are just disturbing the normal development of the landscape of that area. My question is that if you want to stay there, you must be with the environment of that area. You change your livelihood, you change your agriculture pattern, you change the house pattern. So by this construction of embankment, we are spoiling the normal landscape development of that area. How it is? To get rid from the flood, we are just, you see, the construct this embankment. This is the normal levee. This is the normal levee. It's a natural process. My village is there. To protect the village from the flood water, we just construct the embankment, and as a result, the deposition took place within the river bed, and river level is becoming high. When this portion is breached, the entire village will be inundated and severe flood. You see that these are the two photographs of Sundarban, and you can understand our habitation is lower than the river high water level. This is the embankment we created. That means we are altering the landscape. So if we want to get back the landscape, if we allow the nature to build their landscape in normal form, then we just obliterate the environment of this area. So from the point of view of the economy, from the point of view of livelihood, this is not acceptable. But being an environmentalist, being a geographer, in favor of the landscape development, we have to have obliterate or the we must obliterate the environment from its area. And you see that this is the case of Ojoy River. And to avoid the flood of this area, we just embanked the river on the both sides. We do not allow the river to flow in other parts. So we are dictating the landscape development. So the micro landscape development is very much hampered by this construction of the environment. And what is the result? In some portion, that there is a breaching, and then the sand spray took place in this area. There is in this sand spray within the agricultural field, sand spray. But this is not the actual landscape feature of River Ojoy. The man, we created this one. We construct embankment, and when embankment breach and break, then through that the water penetrating in the agricultural field and vineyard with the thick sand cover, which is actually brought by the river itself. Now, another one, the river diversion, diversification of the river water through irrigation canal, that also hampered the micro landscape feature. We construct this canal for bifurcate the water from the river itself. And then we construct this at the expense of or altering the landscape of that area. So if you want to get the normal landscape, is a natural process, is a natural system. Within the system dynamism, so therefore we must stop this, or we must allow the landscape to remain as it is. Now this is the river Moiraki, and this is the river Moiraki canal. This part is the river Tilpara barrage. We want to divert the water through irrigation canal, this irrigation canal, and this is the river. Canal tributaries and distributaries, that is another form of the like river in a reverse form. And this is the normal river Moiraki, the center point. This is the normal river, the Moiraki. I want to show the next photograph that of this Tilpara barrage, what actually happened there. I got it from the Google map. This is our Tilpara barrage, the reservoir of the water behind the barrage, and in the downstream there is a huge sand deposits, and totally different character of these two. This Moiraki is different with this Moiraki. We created this one. So we change, modify the riverine landform. And if we want to make, or if we want to get a sustainable landscape system, then we have to have like this. Now, through this irrigation canal, when the water is passing, the passage of the vegetation cover, and that ultimately in near future alter the landscape what was there actually, and that is the normal process. So we the people, this is the anthropogenic interference. Through this anthropogenic interference, we are modifying the aeolian landscape. This is one case. Another case is the Sahara Desert. Within the Sahara Desert, we started our agricultural practices, and we create the agriculture plot by providing the irrigation water, and ultimately, by decades after, I think the Barkhan, what we are noticing in the foreground, that will be vanished and that will be altered. So for the sustainability of this Barkhan or this aeolian landscape, we must be careful. Use the landscape as it is, and every landscape has an economic potentiality. Try to understand that one. Don't impose your idea or hire a typical economic activities on that area. That is not desirable for the earth. And you see, this is our Indira Gandhi Canal in the third desert. We construct the Indira Gandhi Canal and in the western part of the Rajasthan desert, and some of you have visited that part, and that has changed the total landscape feature of that area. Being a geographer, I want to say this is not desirable. If you want to initiate some economic activities to provide the livelihood for the local people, there must be some other ways, not by introducing the agriculture in that desert part. And that agriculture ultimately alter or spoil or destroy or modify the landscape. And our next generation can ask us why you have spoiled so much of landscape features for economic gain only? Why not think about the landscape feature? If there is a hill besides your village, and that should be kept for the next generation and then after next generation. Now, this is another indiscriminate quarrying from Aravalli. Indiscriminate quarrying from Aravalli range lead towards a landscape alteration. Some of you have experience about Aravalli. Recently, we noticed that that is now restricted. No one can extract any rock from that part. To build the Gurgaon and Delhi, we collected huge quantity of rocks from the Aravalli. And there is one NGO, not only one, so many NGOs, they protested and ultimately they stopped this. No one can take any single boulder from that part. And this is the Aravalli range. You know that in the western part of India. And this is the system of landscape. I think, like me, all you are feeling very sorry for this because this is not the way to behave with our earth. Earth is ready to give so many things. But if you spoil, if you destroy, and it will take a revenge on another. Now, there is another immense sand lifting. What we are noticing in our area, particularly in the eastern India and central India, there is a sand unscientifically. We are taking sand for our economic gain, for construction purpose, and you see that this is not the character of a river bed. After taking this, when there is a bankful discharge, when the river gets the water during the monsoon time, and then we notice the huge eddies within the river bed, and that create another erosion behavior within the river bed, which is not expected. So before lifting the sand, you must find out which part is suitable for lifting sand from the river bed. Some portions the geographer can define. You can take sand from this portion. But in my country, there is no such system. Anybody can go and paying their tax to the government and take sand unethically, unsystematically, unscientifically, what we are noticing in this photo. And we are modifying the riverbed configuration. So the JCB, we are lifting the sands. And you see, this is a riverbed. You cannot believe that this is a riverbed. There is some patches of the ponds or the potholes there. This is not desirable for a river. And sculpturing aesthetic ideas of micro landscape form that strengthen the concept of the landscape sustainability. You see, the Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore, he was terribly against the big dam, putting big dam on the river. And the Kennebec River was instantly restored. And you know how much cost was there for decommissioning that part? That is more than $1.2 billion. To get back the river Kennebec, the United States, they have the decommission, the entire dam or river Kennebec. And for your kind information, in United States, there are more than thousands such big dams were decommissioned. And throughout the world, this process is going on. In France, on river, Saint Etienne, the one dam is decommissioned, and there are so many processes and steps are going on this issue, that is the decommissioning of the dam. And Rabindranath, he wrote in his কাব্যগ্রন্থ in the year of 1896 that দুরাকাঙ্ক্ষা কবিতায় উনি লিখছেন, কেন মরে গেল নদী, আমি বাঁধ বাঁধি তারে, চাই ধরিবারে, পাইবারে নিরবধি, তাই মরে গেল নদী. If we construct a dam across a river, ultimately the river will die. This is an idea well before 100 years back, and he wrote so many articles, drama, poems on this to decommission let the river flow with its own character. Though it has no economic return immediately to you, but it has a great significance for the point of view of the system dynamism of the environment that you are supporting if you don't construct any dam on across a river. Now, another point, there is the river source area. We the geographers, we define delineate some points for the river source area, and this is the river Ojoy in Bihar state. The local people, they construct an earthen dam to demarcate the source point of that area, and if we encourage this system, so the local environment, local landscape will be restored by this. And in that part, in that village, Salwa village, one temple besides that source point, and the local people, they're worshipping the mother of river Ojoy, that is the river Ganga. They used to take the mud from the river Ganga and put into their temple and worshipping. That is some sort of they are worshipping to the nature. And this is another, hidden resource for mankind by which we can restore or we can make our landscape sustainable. And we put one marker stone there, and that is there it is written that in recognition of man-nature attachment, this stone is placed. That is, man-nature means here nature, that is the landscape. If you come to know that this area is a source of a river, then you have a typical or idea about the landscape of that area. And local people, they want to restore that. That means by that way, the local landscape is sustenance in near future. The next part, that is the conservation through the display board. We have initiated 2 display board, one in the Gopgad of West Midnapur, and in front of the Gopgad landscape, such display board is there, and people can get idea, get knowledge, and they have a good faith on the landscape, so they don't like to destroy the landscape in that point. And this is another part, there is the ravine lands of the Gorveta Hills, and to protect it, the government has taken enormous programs. Along with that, the people, the geographers, they used to go there, and the tourists, they used to go there, and they give the knowledge of the landscape. And we put one display board in front of that. The students or the normal tourists, they are coming and getting knowledge from that. So this is another way by which we can conserve the landscape of area. The last one, that is an approach towards the conservation of landscape, Pakipar of Ajodhya Hills in Purulia. One great artist, the artist Chitroden. Hello. This is the Pakipar of Purulia, and Chitrode, he is very much interested to paint the hill slope with a huge number of birds, and that's why that is known as the Pakipar. In Bengali, Pakhi, that is a bird, and birds are flying over this hill. His ideas like this, but being a geographer, to me, I feel that this is the way by which we can conserve the hill. And the rolling boulders from that hill, he started painting such peacocks and all this, and he has taken so many programs in this issue, and he invites the local people to take part in this program. And the local people, they have engraved these tree leaves on the boulder, I believe that after this, the local people, they will not allow any contractor to bring this or to take this boulder for any construction purpose in other parts of the earth. So this is the way by which we can conserve the landscape, that is the sustainability. So conserve landscape for future generation, not for us. If you spoil, if you destroy one hill, the future generation can ask you that why you have spoiled or destroyed the landscape. Why you not think about the sustainability of the landscape? There is a new horizon in geographical geography through this landscape conservation. I think I am able to communicate my philosophy or my idea in connections with the landscape sustainability to you. And whenever you see this and whenever be part to conserve any landscape feature, then you feel that I am very much with you. Thank you, giving patience hearing, and I'm really grateful to the Krishna Chandra College authority, particularly the principal Gautam Chatterjee Mahasai, and staff members and my colleagues of different departments to give me a chance to share my idea with the participants. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your enlightening and cumulative presentation. Now the time for some questions. Sanjay, have any question in chat box? Please. I'm looking to Sanjay Mondol. Please.
কোনো কোশ্চেন নেই দাদা আপাতত।
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
হ্যাঁ দাদা,
Thank
আপনাকে
you.
অনেক ধন্যবাদ আমাদের মাঝে আপনাকে পেয়ে অনেক আপ্লুত।
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your profound knowledge with us. Your delivery was so engaging that we lost all track of time. And some people arrive and make such a beautiful impact on our life that we can barely remember what life was like without them. You are one of them, sir. Your only presence is the source of our great motivation. There are so many comments of participants regarding your presentation, sir, and also express their gratitude. I can say that as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter some word, but to live by them. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
দাদা, there is
Now-
one question.
Okay, please. Please.
Any question? Any question, please?
This is from Iskander. Sir, why the level of development is very low compared to others?
Sustainable development.
This is
Why the level of sustainable development is low.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Any more question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now you see that compared to other developed countries, our development from the point of view of sustainability is not that much. But today, what I want to say, I want to communicate my idea, that is that you must take the development programs, okay, not at the expense of the landscape. If you destroy a hill like Aravalli, after few decades, the people can ask you why you have spoiled that Aravalli. If you pluck boulder from the Mama Bhangne Pahad of Birbhum to protect the bank erosion of Farakka area, then you are spoiling the two parts, the Farakka as well as the Mama Bhangne Pahad. So when you go for any program, then you must be careful about the sustainability of the landscape of that area, along with the economic, cultural, social, everything. You must take care or think about the sustainability of the landscape. So you have to take the rock boulders, but you define like other countries. From a particular area, they are cutting the rock boulders, not haphazardly destroy all the hills and hillocks. No, no. My question, your construction cost will be high. Okay, you must bear it for the sake of the landscape. You can lift sand from the riverbed, but with a certain extent, not beyond of that. If you take all sands from the riverbed haphazardly, unethically, then the river will speak in different way. That is not the real behavior of the river. And the future generation can ask you why you have spoiled the river, why you have spoiled the river bed. You can take sands from the river. I told you in my lecture already that some portions of the river we can lift the sand, but not from some portions. Some portions is suitable for lifting sand, but some portions is not suitable for. If you take, then the landscape will alter and the river will behave in different form, and that you have to face as the new dimensions of the problems. For the sustainability of the landscape, which is desirable for the sake of our real development. And you must switch over the typical house building construction system. The other countries, they are not using that much of sand for the construction of a building. You construct building in minimum number, but what you construct that in accordance with the environment. I know most of the rich people, they have 2 or 3 or 4 flats in Kolkata and other urban centers. No, there should be regulations. One man must have one building. And that is imposed there in United States. No one can pick this one building at Kolkata, one building at Shantiniketan, one building at Siuri, one building at Hetampur. No, not like this. So reframe, reorder, rethink about what we are going to do today. Because if we spoil the Mama Bhangne Pahad, then the next generation can ask you or blame you the illiterately, with the unknowingly, we have spoiled the Mama Bhangne Pahad. Once it was a great point for, a religious point, it's a great point for the tourist, and so many environmental integrations or system dynamisms. It has a great role in system dynamism. If you think deeply, then you just do not support this sort of the construction system. Okay, I think I am able to cover my your question.
Thank you, Dada. Dada, there is one more question from Subhrajyoti Mondol.
Yeah.
Jawaharlal Nehru said, dams are temple of modern India. Was he incorrect? Correct from his point of view?
Yeah, very good question. When he said and when he made this statement, that time that was correct. That time our knowledge was so narrow. We are not thinking about our environment and environmental issues. Then we want to focus on how much we'll get from a river. That's why the temples of India, villages are temples of India. But today, all the geomorphologists, environmentalists, geographers, people from other disciplines, they are very much concerned about the environment. And from the environmental point of view, that statement today is very much incorrect. Yes.
Moloda,
yes. Follow.
There is another question also by Sangram Kishori Panda. How to aware the rural people to save themselves from the natural disasters? Any program for them by the government before or only the time of disaster?
No, you see, that is another part. the preparedness and take care the government policies related to the disaster. But I am talking today about the landscape disaster and there is the sustainability of the landscape. I'm talking about the Mama Bagne Pahar. I'm talking about the Paki Pahar. I'm talking about the Joychandi Pahar. I'm talking about the Aravalli Pahar mountain. So therefore, being a geographer or those who love the earth, they must fight with me or they will support my opinion, try to restore the landscape what actually it is. I'm not talking about the rural disaster only. That is the flood is another issue. It is a natural process. And what the government has taken policies, the local people, how they are thinking. No, this is another part of my lecture. But today, I have only covered that portion, tried to focus on how to restore the landscape of a river, riverine landscape of the hill, landscape of a mountain, landscape of the desert, landscape of the glacier. We want to take some steps or measures to make the landscape sustainable. That's my.
Okay, Moderator. There are also
Okay.
so many questions
But
in this chat box, but due to the limitation of time.
Yeah,
Okay,
they can contact me
okay.
over phone or over mail. I will reply individually. Later, if they want to talk with me, I will reply individually. But today, time is very limited. Other speakers are waiting, and they will deliver some more interesting angles in connections with the development, environment, and sustainability. Okay, thank you to all. Thank you to all. Namaskar.
Thank you, Moderator. Thank you. Okay. Now we are entering the next presentation. Today we are very pleased to welcome a very special guest to this webinar, Dr. A.R.M. Tawfiqul Islam from Bangladesh. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. We are honored to have with us today. Dr. A.R.M. Tawfiqul Islam is an associate professor, head of the Department of Disaster Management, and also the director of e-learning center, Begum Rokeya University, Bangladesh. He did PhD from China. He authored one book and published near about 100 peer-reviewed articles in various national and international journals. He has been awarded many times for his immense contribution in research. He is an associate editor in European journals of geoscience and also reviewers of several publishers like Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, Taylor, and Francis, etc. Actually, he has made a mark in the field of research work in Bangladesh as well as in the world. I will not long listed it, so without taking much more time of his, let me request Dr. A.R.M. Tawfiqul Islam for his presentation. The topic which he is going to present is effect of meteorological factors on COVID-19 cases in Bangladesh. Sir, we are looking forward to listen from you, sir, on this topic. Please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your introduction. I am honored. Okay.
Is there any problem, sir?
Okay. Yes. Sure. Thank you for the time. Um, uh, Thank you for the organizer for giving me opportunity uh, to share this paper. Uh, we we know that um, is there any relationship between
It is visible, sir, but there is some problem in sound, sir.
okay. Is it okay? Okay. Sure.
এই বলছি সাউন্ডে বলো না, তোমার নেটের সমস্যা।
হ্যালো, সাউন্ডে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে। আমার মনে হয় নেটওয়ার্ক সামথিং প্রবলেম আছে।
হ্যাঁ, তো তোমার ইয়েটা, তোমার ওই বাসুদেব লেন ওখান থেকে সাউন্ড আসছে, কিসের জন্য গো এত সাউন্ড আসছে ডুম 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 করে? না সেটা ঠিক আছে, তুমি যখন খুলবে তখন কথা বলবে তখন অন করবে, বাদবাকি তো অন করে দেবে, কিন্তু ওই আবু রেজাকের সাউন্ডের প্রবলেম হচ্ছে খুব।
The effect of meteorological factors
ঠিক
on
আছে।
COVID-19 case in Bangladesh. Um, Here the presentation outlines. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the background. We know this is the 21st century era of knowledge and technological advancement. Actually, we are not all ready for this unprecedented situation caused by the COVID-19. This virus actually wreaking a havoc and bringing the world into a stand-alone exceptionally. And we all know that this virus first occur in Hubei province in Wuhan, and then it spread out all over the world. This as the coronavirus can travel a certain distance through air, can sustain the air from a long time. We know that many scientists determine how the contagious a disease by its eligibility to reproduction, which is suggested by RO, that mean reproduction factors. Bangladesh has exhibited a lockdowns to suppress the COVID-19, but lack of monitoring and home quarantine isolation measures for several traveler elevated confirm that positive cases, and those transmit all over the Bangladesh. We know Bangladesh is a climate vulnerable country. Its population density and complex meteorological settings. At first, Bangladesh COVID-19 was first confirmed case March 8, 2020, and then my study is covered March 8 to May 31st. The number of cases reported um, um, 47,000 and recovery 9,780 and total out of um, 64 districts, 62 districts covered this COVID and cause of death the May 31st 650. Here's some knowledge gap of the existing literature. Here's some recent work examine the influence of meteorological indicator or factors on COVID spread all over the globe. There is a still debate how meteorological factor or weather affect the COVID whether or not. Some studies have been conducted in India and then China, USA, Iran, Spain, and Mexico, Turkey, and Brazil, Indonesia, and several countries. The environmental factor that drive the pattern of the COVID-19 and found a relationship with meteorological indicator. Different studies already have established that. Published cited work agree that some meteorological parameter influence the COVID outbreaks. And however, the nexus between meteorological indicator is yet unexplored for Bangladesh. This study intend to close this research gap. And this and research question, is there any relationship with meteorological variable in COVID-19? If so, which meteorological indicator influence the COVID-19 outbreak? Is there any relationship, contact transmission and COVID-19 after implementing so-called social distancing measures? How do the time frequency resolution of COVID-19 case and climatic variable are associated temporarily and especially over Bangladesh? And what meteorological factor contribute to COVID-19 case in Bangladesh? Actually, we want to know those in this in this lecture. And the study objective to explore the effect of meteorological factors on COVID-19. We use some robust models like distributed log nonlinear model, wavelet transform coherence, random forest, and Monte Carlo simulations. Our data are all are secondary and collect from the Bangladesh Meteorological Department. They have 43 stations. All the stations we divided into 7 climatic region. Most of the parameters are temperature, humidity, sunshine hour, and then other parameters. And the quality control of the data also carried out by the BMD staff. There are no missing data in this study, and confirmed case data are collected from the Institute of Epidemiology, Disease Control and Research, and contact transmission data are calculated from the different scenario. RO means is the reproduction number. In this study, we divided 3 period, 14 days. We know the COVID sustained 14-day period at least. The 14-day period is considered April 15 April to 30 April. This is a first contact transmission 1, and then 1st May to 15 May, and then 16 May to 31st May. This is the three. I divided the 3 period: the contact transmission 1, contact transmission 2, and contact transmission 3. Add some method used in the study. Now I come to the results. The map show though this map is 31st May, and this district wise, using a trend and slowly increasing a trend, and now is decrease. Now slightly decrease. Here, here the 7th climatic zone, I calculate the daily number of positive cases in COVID-19. Uh, you can see the south south central region. That means south central region are higher positive number of cases than any other region. Um, uh, as we know, the relationship between COVID and the meteorological factors, the description of those meteorological factors and contact transmission with COVID. Here, almost the mean temperature during the study period, 30 degrees centigrade, and then the humidity are average humidity 5.3 kilometer per hour, and then air pressure 1000 millibar, humidity 65, and contact transmission. And the first period in 5.3, second period 3.1, and third period is 3. Now, what are the relationship between COVID and the meteorological factors? The Pearson correlation was carried out here. You can see the in confirmed case, the maximum temperature show negative relationship, and air pressure is negative relationship significance. But average temperature, wind speed, minimum temperature show a significant positive relationship. And surprisingly, a contact transmission has no significant, no direct relationship. The reproduction number and intensity of the contact transmission in 3 phases. Here you see the in case of Dhaka, there are severe to marginal reproduction number, but other city has low to marginal contact transmission. And we can see the temporal variation of meteorological factor. Most of the low temperature in region are the high meteorological condition. That means the maximum temperature high, and then the diurnal temperature also high, humidity, wind speed always high. Here, so the three-dimensional plot of the relative risks of meteorological factor, including all the meteorological factor. Here, you can see the diurnal temperature, absolute humidity, and relative humidity are very high relative risks. And relative humidity 65, when relative humidity 65, the highest relative risks. When absolute humidity 22 gram per meter cube, then high relative risks. When wind speed 21 kilometer per hour, the highest relative risks. And minimum temperature 18 is the highest. Maximum temperature is 27 is the highest relative risks occur. Now we consider the how effect of meteorological variable on the COVID-19 case. Here, some you can see a unidirectional some curve. Single effect on the is a reverse U shape. Minimum temperature is the binomial distribution curve, and similarly wind speed a V shape, and and the relative humidity is smoothly, slightly increasing relationship. Is a cumulative risks. Cumulative risks is and the positive risks in the wind speed, minimum temperature, and negative risks found in maximum temperature, diurnal temperature, and relative humidity. Now, wavelet coherence. Wavelet coherence between two parameters, COVID-19 case and maximum temperature. You can see a important resonance in the 16 April to uh, uh, 26 April, important resonance found. And mean temperature is a scatter significant resonance. In case of diurnal, no relationship was found. Minimum mean temperature also similar to the maximum temperature, a resonance, significant resonance was observed. In case of wind speed, I found a significant relationship between 20 April to 26 April. And air pressure also a significant negative relationship was observed, and humidity is a scatter relationship was found. And then we want to see the partial wavelet coherence between COVID-19 case, confirmed case. Maximum and minimum temperature, when the maximum temperature and COVID, uh, a, a combined relationship occur, will the wind speed a minimizing effect. Here I found a strong resonance during that period, 16 April to and 6 May. And when wind speed and COVID case are related each other, maximum temperature are controlling variable, also a significant relationship. In Also in other cases is a non-significant relationship we found. Here, contribution percentage of meteorological variable and COVID outbreak. Here you can see the humidity is play a vital role. Then other parameter like temperature and rainfall, etc. Humidity is more than 32 is the night humidity affect the affect the COVID-19 outbreaks. And here, you can see the bar diagram plot, the important degree of the climatic variable that on COVID-19 confirmed cases. Here you can see most of the cases are relative humidity and diurnal temperature range, absolute humidity are influenced mostly to COVID-19 cases. Here, based on the result, we can see that the minimum temperature or wind speed have a positive significant relationship with the number of COVID confirmed cases, will the COVID-19 reveal a anti-correlation in the maximum temperature, diurnal temperature, and uh, air pressure. The COVID-19 transmission favor the high uh, uh, high absolute humidity and relative humidity setting. The coupling influence of the meteorological variable may be profound in Bangladesh, and minimum temperature and wind speed demonstrate a significant non-linear dose response cumulative effect on the transmission, and then absolute humidity, which is contrary to the maximum temperature and diurnal temperature. Pearson correlation and the wavelet coherence result disclose an increase in maximum temperature and air pressure and decrease in wind speed could aid in containment of COVID-19 transmission in Bangladesh. And partial wavelet coherence findings suggest maximum temperature and wind speed have standalone effect on COVID-19 when the coupling, but they have no significant effect. There are no direct association between transmission with the speed of COVID-19. And the low RO, that means reproduction factor value, indicate a low outbreak of the COVID-19 due to the maybe low testing, one of the reasons. And the random forest model indicate the uh, absolute humidity and diurnal temperature may be affect the COVID-19 cases. In Dhaka city, the relative humidity is the most vital meteorological factor that affect the COVID-19 death. Actually, this research give a useful information for public healthcare decision maker to insight into the meteorological dependency and dependency of COVID-19 cases across Bangladesh. And effective measures such as zone-wise lockdown should be taken to suppress the COVID-19 outbreak and further spreading. And thank you all. This is my presentations. Now, request a question. Yeah. Hello, Dr. Shirajit.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your nice informative presentation. Now we have some questions in chat box. Please, Sanjay.
Yeah, yes.
One question from Sangram Kesuri Panda. Sir, according to your view, the global warming in coming future will increase more and more, or we can able to control the as global warming creates climate change and many disasters.
Yes.
Please, sir.
Yes, global warming creates climate change, and this is climate change create global warming, and global warming create climate change. This is a controversial topic. I think global warming creates climate change.
Okay. There is no questions in the chat box. Is there any questions? Sanjay? Sanjay is not online. Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Again, thank you, sir. Your session was full of passion and priceless knowledge. Your presentations triggered now new ideas, and it will be a great pleasure for us to listen you again in on future events, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Now I am profusely elated to take an opportunity to introduce our another renowned guest speaker, respected Dr. Dept. Before giving introduction, I would like to thank sir for accepting our invitation, and we are honored to have with us you, sir. He is professor and former head of the Department of Geography in the University of Bardhaman. Respected sir, Professor Dept. Has completed MPhil from JNU and was awarded the PhD degree by the University of Bardhaman. And Professor Dept. Carried out his postdoctoral research under Raman Fellow in the Clinical Research Building, Miller School of Medicine, the University of Miami in USA. He has visited several countries for academic purpose, such as Bangladesh, Spain, USA, Japan, Italy, etc. His research interests includes geomorphology, water resource, atmosphere pollution, public health, and GIS. He has guided over 5 PhD scholars and 2 MPhil scholars. Professor বিশ্বাস has over 20 years of experience on teaching. He is the author of many books on micro and macro level study of our countries in various perspectives, such as discourse on human-nature interaction, surface water conservation zone identification, water stress management system, etc. With a long list of his achievements and glory, I would like to invite Professor Vishal for presentation. The topic he is going to present, the topic is geographical appraisal of COVID-19 in West Bengal. Please, sir.
Thank you, Surajit. Thank you so much for your nice introduction. And I'm really, sometimes I feel, when you say so beautiful words about me, and I need to be at the level of expectation. And also, I am thankful to our the first speaker, the most respected Professor Molay Mukhopadhyay sir, and he said so beautiful words about me, and these things increases, the say competition within myself, so I have to be at that particular level of expectation, and that is the say motivating force behind me to do more research and more work, and presenting my research work in various forums and writings. So at this outset, I'd like to thank the convener, Dr. Surajit Let, and he is the head of the department. And really, I'm happy one day he just called me and asked me, sir, please give a lecture. And he referred Professor Molay Mukhopadhyay, sir. And I was readily agreed. Just I heard nothing more than that name. That name is sufficient. And when you say the same thing, the professor and former head, same for Professor Molay Mukhopadhyay and same for Biplab Biswas. No, please excuse me. That does not match. He is a say mountain. I am a boulder or pebble down of that mountain, So I am not that much big, and so I should be humble. I am also thankful to the principal, Professor Gautam Chatterjee sir. So you have got a beautiful team, in your college to work such beautiful works and research, and even in this pandemic time, Surajit and his team, Dr. Pallav Jyoti Pal has arranged this kind of webinar, international webinar, where the renowned professors are speaking from various parts of the world. And I am also thankful for Dr. Tawfiqul Alam, and he is, he made my lecture, easier, presenting the geographical aspect, I would say, for my presentation. And most unfortunate part, Surajit, that is very, very unfortunate. Just before this presentation, I was trying my PPT, and unfortunately that PPT, got some corruption. I don't know what happened, but don't worry. I have some backups, and in future also, if you give me any scope to present, I will say, don't worry about this PPT presentation. There are 1,000 ways. There are many other ways to present your presentation and to keep it secure. So my PPT is not there, is as you see in conventional way, but it is a non-conventional kind of presentation. Okay, so as Surajit said, COVID-19, that would be my presentation, and being a geographer, I think that is a good opportunity for me to place to analyze that COVID-19 special pattern of COVID-19 in West Bengal through the eye of geographers. Now, in the say to start with this presentation, I would say now it is very much well known, among us that China, Wuhan is the point of origin of this virus, and now it is a global pandemic. And say up to this 20th September, this morning, just at 10:30 of this morning, when we had the inauguration, I searched the internet, that PubMed is the search engine. PubMed is the search engine. Oh, sorry. My co-presenter, or co-author would be is Sri Shumanto Chaudhuri. He is very young, he's studying only in the second semester or third semester in the beginning, and he's so beautiful and nicely meticulously collected data for COVID for entire West Bengal. So he is my co-author. He is present also in the meeting. So he's very nice fellow, and I hope he's very bright future. So while presenting this COVID, what I would say this morning I was saying there are about 51,000 publication globally. You can see that global presentation status is 51,000 this morning, and the search engine was PubMed. PubMed is a search engine, not Google. Google is not the search engine for doing research. PubMed is the search engine, and globally, including every aspect, there are 51,000 publications. 51,000 publication when you use the global the keyword COVID, and that 3,039 papers presented covering India, or the paper originated from India, and 143 papers originated from West Bengal, various aspects of COVID, and 15 of this from West Bengal when I use the word geography as a say keyword. So the 15 articles, is geographic paper, or say considered only the geographic. And what happened? That is the beautiful thing in the present next paper. Yes, here you can see I classified these 15 papers, how they are analyzed. So some of the paper analyzed this public health issue, including the mental health, how COVID is impacting on the mental health and other health. So there are only two publications, Javeri and Ghosh. And some people studied the comorbidity. The West Bengal government was doing this kind of study, how much COVID diet people were having some comorbidity, So thus presented, wrote a paper on this comorbidity. And some people, a lot of papers, this is the highest papers, reduction on air and water pollution level, 5 papers are there. And one very interesting, how this COVID, reduced the lightning, thundering, or due to this, in this COVID situation, urban vulnerability, spatial pattern and prediction, means 3 papers are there, and status of learning system, how this COVID and this distance learning is impacting during the COVID. So this type of papers, we are getting. So, and fortunately or unfortunately, I get not a single paper which is considered on geographic holistic approach, considering the geographic factor, just except before this previous speaker, he wrote, he tried to explain geographic, the climatic aspect of the COVID spatial pattern. So here, this is my outline of this presentation. So I think, being a geographer, I should see some factors, like climate and other factors, how these factors impacting the COVID situation in world, India and West Bengal. Okay, this is the structure. So the total structure, there are 6 points. Second point would be the spatio-temporal mapping on COVID-19, and third, possible factors. And I would say why I have taken these 6 factors. Of course, if we had the impact in between of Amphan, how Amphan played a role. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to study further. I try to show some data on the impact of COVID, Amphan on COVID. Okay. So this is the outline, and I know this is the famous diagram. This how the virus looks, and bat is the host of this virus, and when we eat the meat of bat meat, and it enters our human system and affects mostly the lung and spread through the sneezing and other thing as a droplet, and it affects one person. If we consider one person affect 2 persons, so it takes this many days, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days to spread this number of population. And there is another model of, if the one person impact 3%, on the second day or third day, how many people will be infected. This kind of model, beautiful models, it is freely available in internet. So the first aspect is the comparing global situation with this COVID situation. So again, I said my presentation has got some corruption, so I am making some, say, jugaad technology. This is MS Word. You can see. Not this is up to 20th of this September, because we need to analyze some time to analyze the data. That is up to 31st of August. I analyzed this data for this particular presentation, and I found 254, 2054, 2 crore 54 lakh people, almost 55 people is confirmed as a COVID patient globally, and total death is 8,50,000. And if we take the global average, it is 3.34% of COVID affected people died, and the geographical spread is 216 countries. There are 216 countries globally which is having this kind of COVID infection. So I would like to request our previous speaker, please, when you are seeing the climatic aspect, please see the global aspect, global climate. Globe is waiting this kind of research, how much climate, because in the beginning we had the idea that India is a hot country and that virus cannot sustain in Indian climatic condition, but now we are at very bad conditions. So we need to reinvestigate the climatic parameter and other parameters. In India also, all the states, all the 35 states, we are having COVID, but fortunately our death rate is not that much as global. We are reduced to only 1.77%, and in West Bengal we have only 3,228 deaths so far up to 31st of August, and the death rate is a little higher than the national average. It is 1.98% to the affected, and we have say 1,62,000, 63,000 almost infected with COVID, in West Bengal. So that is the global scenario. And if I see, this is the world map, when we can see still the African and a small portion of our Asia, the northeastern, southeastern Asia, that they are still safe. We need to, even you see when the Russia and China, they are at very bad shape, but Mongolia is sustaining very good. So we need to investigate further what is keeping these countries safe, safer than the rest of the world. So that is very interesting map. So if I compare this diagram, yes, that is the diagram. I said this data, this diagram. So we are West Bengal is COVID affected. So if we say the million population, we are much lower rate than the national and the global average. West Bengal, same thing. And this is the recovery rate. So I said now my PPT has gone corrupted, so I cannot show the progress line. That line of progress is excellent. When we were, say, less than 20% of recovery rate in West Bengal, now we are at the highest with 82.849, or almost 83% of COVID affected people are getting recovered, they are getting cured. That is fantastic, that is a very good result of the wholehearted effort of the government and the doctors and the researchers who are taking proper care of our health COVID affected patients. So this is the COVID cases, comparing the global average. So India and world is following I can see the global increasing rate is almost very similar, but West Bengal has maintained very low rate, very distinct from the rest of the oh no, sorry, I'm so sorry. This is confirmed cases. This is death. The lower was the death rate, and the middle one is the recovered in the global scenario, and this is Indian scenario. We can see global scenario, Indian scenario is much sharper. It is increasing the rate of infection or the total infection rate and the same COVID. And India and West Bengal, in case of West Bengal, we can see after 15th of July there has been a sharp increase of this infection rate. But also we have equally increase, very high, very sharp increase in the recovery rate as well. And that this data I have already presented in the beginning. And this is a death rate, how it is decreasing in the global scenario, how the death rate is steadily decreasing due to COVID in the world scenario. This is in Indian scenario, and of course this is recovery rate. Okay. And world is 65, India is 76. Just I discussed this thing. 82 is our West Bengal. Now I come to my second part. This is most important, plan for today's deliberation. And when I say West Bengal, so I need to see the location. This is the India. As it is international, I need to show where the West Bengal it is. It is in the eastern part of India, and the neighboring of Bangladesh. Our respected speaker is from there. So you can see this is the West Bengal. And the first case, we should not forget that man, that young fellow, and he bring this virus from England to West Bengal. He was the only one person on 17th of March, and now we are more than 1 lakh. So within this few span of time, so that history should not forget that the boy who created this panic. And now this is the 1,62,000. We are infected with COVID. And if we compare this district wise, listen, there is a little modification in this district pattern. Maybe someone will ask you, where is Kalimpong and where is West Bardhaman, Paschim Bardhaman and Jhargram? Because I tried to correlate this data with Census of India data in 2011, and these are the districts which were present in 2011 census, and I merged these districts, for the smooth, comparing. Still, I can see that Kolkata is the highest with 40,157 COVID cases, and next North 24 Parganas 33,000, and third highest is Howrah with 13,000, and the least is Jhargram. And same COVID dead population as well, just same pattern. And Kolkata North 24 Parganas and Howrah. Here also Kolkata North 24 Parganas and Howrah. These are the three districts where the date is 1290, 739, and 369 purely due to COVID. Now I can say it is a very useful tool as a geographer. This population distribution and the total population of each district and the COVID affected population. Yes, there is 51%, disparity. So what I mean, now we have a even distribution of population with sufficient time and climatic factors and other factors. So we should have a uniform kind of the distribution of COVID patient, but it is not actually. So the Gini coefficient is almost 51%. So that is indicating, though there are some factors underlying which is restricting, which is modifying, which is controlling the distribution, spatial pattern of distribution of COVID patients. So that is a very interesting diagram, and these numbers are exact total number. At the date of 31st of August, what were the total numbers of patients in different districts that I have showed now, that Alipurduar and Kalimpong, Paschim Bardhaman, Jhargram. These are the districts I deliberately merged with the existing 2011 census districts, because that will help me to analyze the data perfectly with lesser comparison. So absolute data, when you see absolute data makes very very sketchy kind of thing, where there is a highest population, definitely there will be maximum COVID patients. So we need to make some standardization. We need to do some standard method. So one of the standard method is, what is the per 1,000 household COVID cases. Again, the Kolkata North 24 Parganas. So you see, in the earlier case, Howrah was the highest, but here Darjeeling is the third highest position as per COVID affected population for the 1,000 households level. And if we go to 1 lakh population level, again Kolkata 24 North 24 Parganas and Darjeeling, these are the top three districts with COVID per 1 lakh population. Kolkata is 893 and North 24 Parganas 338 and Darjeeling is 299 population. So this kind of data, and this definitely we can understand, these are the map prepared using GIS. So that is needless to say here. And third is the death, data up to 31st August. Again, not here the Darjeeling, the number of death is highest in Kolkata, North 24 Parganas and Howrah with 1,290, 739 and 369. These are the districts, and Purulia is the least, affected. Still, up to 31st of August, there are only 2% died due to COVID. So I will conclude with these words. So this is the death records, and if I say the death per million, so again the standard factor. So either North 24 Parganas was the highest, but if we do this kind of standardization, how many deaths per million population, Howrah comes in the second cases, and North 24 Parganas goes to the third, and Darjeeling goes in the fourth position. Okay, so this kind of arrangement, this kind of standardization we can do with this study. And how many COVID percentage of people died due to COVID? As I said in the beginning, we need to study the infection and death rate. So you can see the three districts, Bankura, Kojbihar and Purulia, these three districts, you can see that is very helpful. I mean, we should be very much hopeful. So something is there, definitely something is there, that these three districts still having 0% death, only 2 death, and that is not many. I mean, fourth digit up to third digit they are nothing, maybe fourth or fifth digit they have some death rate, and Kolkata is only the highest with 3.5% of COVID infected people died so far, and up to 31st of August, and Howrah is 2%. And in national, I mean state average, you can see the state average is only 1 point something. It is only 1.36%. You see, it is only 1.37. The state average is 1.36, means only not even 2 people die due to COVID. So don't panic. Okay. And okay, this is the spatial pattern. And third, next I'm coming on my third aspect, possible factors of COVID-19. I have taken 6 factors, not of course the climate, because what I thought, this basically I tell my justification of taking this data. Climate, when I see Wuhan, New York, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Iran, Iraq, India, Mumbai, Bombay, Delhi, even Kashmir, everywhere, every climatic conditions, every physical conditions, I mean geomorphic conditions, we have some patients. Maybe in what our previous speaker said, we need to do some research on that definitely. But in broadly, I did not find any kind of say climatic phenomena related, maybe related. That is my personal observation. But I find still Kolkata is the highest number of COVID affected in terms of death and affected. So the level of Kolkata is the highest urbanized, Mumbai is the highest urbanized, Delhi is the highest urbanized, so the Chennai. So is there any link with urbanization, level of urbanization? And we also know all the urban centers are highest density. So is their density is playing any role? Sorry. And this you see, we saw the Purulia, we saw the some other districts having forest coverage with lesser number of lesser number of COVID with highest number of forest coverage. Is there any link with forest cover? So in the beginning, there was a mask, you need to wear a mask. So sometimes the mask cost 500 rupees in the beginning, you can remember. Now maybe it is available even to rupees 25 rupees, but in the beginning, the mask was not available and some people sold it in black up to 500 rupees, so and the sanitizer, it was not available in whole market, whole West Bengal. I don't know where what happened in other country. But so wearing the mask, having the sanitizer, taking the soap, shampoo, and other thing, that I thought maybe a fear of a rich people, a fear of a affluent people. So what happened to the non-working people who are not earning money? So are they in danger? So I thought non-working population may be another factor. And so proxy is the concrete household. So the people who are having living in concrete house, they might not be rich. So what is the scenario with that? And Kolkata, Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, these are the hub. In the beginning, we had the patients at these metro centers. So still we are having lesser number of people in Purulia and other distant places. So is it the distance from Kolkata playing a role in this particular spreading of this disease? So these are the 6 factors I've considered, and this is the table, table of for consideration, and some scattered diagram. You see the urban population, you can see the scattered diagram is positive, population is also positive, forest is negative, non-working is not that much negative but slightly negative, and concrete roof, this is fantastic, this is very panicking. Rather, those who are having concrete roof have positive kind of relationship, and distance from Kolkata is also negative. These are the thought what I when I mean factors, and giving some data, giving some say diagrams. So but this diagram says nothing until unless we do some statistical analysis. When I do correlation coefficient, of course, the previous speaker also said the correlation with COVID population, you see, population density, it is 0.9192, highest percentage of urban or level of urbanization 0.87. But unfortunately, with the forest, there is no correlation. What I thought correlation, but there is no correlation. Even with non-working population, there is also no correlation. But with concrete, there is a relation, and of course, distance from Kolkata, there is no relation. So, considering the population density, urban percentage of urban population or level of urbanization and concrete household, these 3 things you see it gives p value, that is the significance, level of significance. You can see the level of significance is very more than 99%. In the third factor, concrete household is 99%, and these are the case. Purely it is giving p value is very excellent. It is really significant. So we should be very careful with the population density, and we should be careful with the level of urbanization and the concrete people. So what the people are saying, the gated communities are at risk. It is true. That data says it is true. The people living in concrete houses and apartments, they are at the much risk than people living in smaller houses like that. Okay, now the death. Okay, so no, this is the positive with the positive cases, the confirmed cases. What happened with the death? Same things. I added one more additional factors, the COVID population with the COVID death. So this is the death population, and this is the COVID infected population. This is the only additional say data I have taken with the existing 6 parameters. Here also the similar diagram, this scatter shows the similar pattern. The death is related with the urban population density, concrete roof, and it is negatively related with distance, negatively with population, non-working population, negatively with the forest cover. When I did this similar significance test and correlation study, I find yes, COVID death is related with COVID population density and level of urbanization, but it is not related with forest cover, it is not related with the non-working population, but it is again related with concrete household and distance from Kolkata. But when I do this p value, you see the significance level is very low. So it is not related with population density as we are thinking in the times of say in the time of cases. Yes, case may be positive, but death is not related to this urban level of urbanization. We need to think where these health facilities factor may be playing this role. There the death, the sanitization, I mean the process of sanitization, isolation, this may be playing the role. So this urban density, percent level of urbanization, and concrete outdoors, why these three data is giving negative relationship with the death, I mean no significant relationship with the death. We need to investigate with further with the is how these things are safe, why the death rate is low in urban, because of the medical facilities. That may be the next question, next research question may come out from this data. Okay, so the final part of my thing is not the final, semi-final impact of Amphan and unlock phases. There are different unlock phases. You see, this is the daily change in positive cases, and the Amphan was here somewhere on 28th of May, and you can see there is a peak after Amphan. There is a decline, and there is a peak here, and again unlock 8th June. I will show some terrifying data on unlock June, and there is again peak, and unlock 11th July, unlock to July 1st. Again in every 6 days when there is an unlock or any event, I see a small peak, in the 7th or 6th day. You can see just one zoomed diagram. First 8th June, and on 6th day we see a 476 additional cases on 5th day of these unlock phases. So how this unlock is playing a role, that has to be taken into consideration. Same thing. Okay. And this is the death, daily change of death. So I was shocked to see this 81, the 1st June 8th, the unlock 1, and on that day, I don't know what happened. You see, there was a declining trend in the previous day. There was declining, but all of a sudden, this thing, I thought I am doing something wrong with the data. So I have because it is Government of West Bengal's data, I should be very careful about the data, and that's why I have taken extra caution on this data. But that is true that 81 is the positive cases, but I don't know what happened with this data. Because this trend is showing that 61 is the highest that is happened somewhere on 4th of August, where the maximum number of death from the excess death from the previous day was the 61. That is the highest possible, so far died. But this is data we need to verify with the government data. But the government data, you can see 324 on 7th June and 405 on 8th June. So according to the government data, we are right. But this data is also prepared by some person. I think something is there, because this type of peak is very strange, but the data is like that, but I can't help it. Oh, finally, this is I am coming to my conclusion part, very small conclusion, because most of the thing I have discussed. So maybe that is a question, how COVID is has created a panic, huge, and that panic is putting a question in the beginning, the WhatsApp, Facebook, social media, and other social media news, even the newspapers, that we are maybe facing a death-like situation, what happened in 1921, and maybe say 1/3 of the population will die, and other thing, everything. So the question of survival came, but this data is saying, so please don't get panicked. It is not like that. It is a very simple kind of flu. And so you see the rate of death, one less than 2%, 1.36, not 1.5 also. So 1.36. So that is a much lower than the panic it is having with us. Maybe it is very contagious. It is very it's spreading very fast, but it is not that much deadly. The research says, that data says like that. So there should be enough scope of having faith on ourselves that human kind will survive all these odds, and yes, of course, we are coming back to our normal life and activities and other things. Okay. And urbanization and population density, these two things, still it is creating a very strong relationship with COVID infection as well as COVID death. So we need to be very careful, very careful about the urban morphology. Whether this morphology, as I said, the gated communities and other thing, what is happening with the morphological form and COVID infection. So that has to be taken very careful. So the recent plan of say urban expansion or urban intensification or like say urban renewal, these are the terms, these are the plans we have to be taken very, very careful considering the COVID situation. So further research is needed for micro level, like say what is happening within Calcutta, within Bardhaman, within Shantiniketan, within Darjeeling. Like smaller towns should be taken care of, each and every infected people, infected say person, and of course the dead people. We have to taken care of the socio-economic, other religion, every aspect, and even of course the urban morphology, how they are living their lifestyle. So to get a concrete idea of the role of urban form, urban morphology, living style, habit, and other thing. And of course, we find the natural hazards, and these unlocked phases has some impact, and we should be very careful about this unlock phases. So when it's unlocked, we should not go out. At least the data shows like that. On the 5th day or 6th day, we had a spike on COVID situation. Okay, so I think it is very sketchy. We need to do a lot of research to understand fully the COVID-19 infection and its spatial pattern.
What is the correlation between environmental factors of Tarapit and the tourist population now? COVID situation. And
that is beyond the scope of this presentation, dear Madhusudan Das. So you do the study now. You take the data from the tourist and the environmental factors and this correlation. So you please do this beyond this scope of this presentation. So without research, you should not say answer, because this is very critical question. And of course, the question is very interesting. And being a young geographer, you should take this challenge. Okay.
Is there any question, Sanjay? Sanjay?
No, the chat box says there is no question. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Thank you, Surajit. Thank you, your entire team, for giving me the scope to present. And I love this topic, because when I'm doing this research, so in beginning of this research, before doing this research, we had seriously, I also in a panic. So you can see my hair is gone. So I have not been to the salon for last 6 months or so. So that kind of panic is there. And yes, okay, someone is saying, but you can understand this data is saying there is not that much panic. Okay, all the best. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, okay, thank you. Then okay, then thank you very much, sir, for sharing your deep knowledge with us. It's rightly said, days are not lost when some memories are created. It was really an amazing presentation, sir. We feel fortunate to have with you. We are really honored by your presence on this webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's go forward to another presentation by Dr. P.L. Vasurai. Before this present, it is my privilege as well as a kind of honor for me to introduce Dr. Vasurai to all of you. Dr. P.L. Vasurai is an eminent academician and also scholar. He is presently teaching in Kuch Bihar Panchanan Barma University as a professor in Geography Department and also head of the department. But I don't think introducing Dr. P.L. Vasurai complete without the telling that he has a close relation with our district, because he has completed his education from Vishwabharati Shantiniketan. As he was senior most of our department, I am feeling very proud, P.L. for respected Dr. P.L. Vasurai. He has more than 15 years of experience in teaching. He has published 2 books, a handbook of transport geography and tourism and analytical approach. He has published more than 30 research articles in various national and international journals. He has invited by several countries for academic purposes such as Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Thailand, Vietnam, Russia, etc. He is also an editor of research journal, Geoanalyst, very popular journal. Again, thank you very much, sir, for gracing the webinar with your honorable presence. We are all looking forward towards the engrossing session by you, sir. Please, sir, over to you. Pialda. Pialda?
My voice is audible, Surajit?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Before starting my deliberation, I would like to thank to the organizer of Krishna Chandra College for organizing such a beautiful webinar, and your team, and my time is too much short, since Supreme Court has given a verdict regarding examination. So we have go to the slide. Okay. You know.
Is any problem, Pialda?
স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে না কিছু।
Is any problem, Pialda? You are not audible.
শোনা যাচ্ছে?
Okay. You are audible.
শোনা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ, audible.
শোনা যাচ্ছে?
You are audible. হ্যাঁ, শোনা যাচ্ছে।
আচ্ছা।
Okay.
PowerPoint is visible. PowerPoint is visible.
No, sir.
Surajit, PowerPoint is visible.
No,
sir.
Tell that. PowerPoint is
Not
not
visible.
visible.
Just wait 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay. We have time.
Share. Now it is visible.
No, Pialda. No.
Not visible.
Not visible. Raspberry.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
হ্যাঁ, স্ক্রিনে দেখা
is
যাচ্ছে
it
না,
visible?
প্রেজেন্টেশন দেখা যাচ্ছে না। No, it's not visible.
Okay, wait. Let's now.
I think have some sharing problem.
There is an announcement regarding the feedback link in this blank time.
Is okay now. Is okay now.
Okay.
It's visible now.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
এখন দেখা যাচ্ছে?
Okay,
Yes,
now
sir.
visible. Pialda.
দেখা যাচ্ছে, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay. Now I am going to start.
Again,
The topic is
remove.
sustainable Earth. Yes.
Uh,
Is it visible?
Now the your slide not is not visible. So please share again.
The slide not visible, Pialda.
Not visible.
Okay, in this blank time, it is an announcing regarding the feedback link. We have already sent it through mail ID. Again, we will provide at the end of the program at chat box. So don't worry about it. You need to fill up this form to get your participation certificate for this announcement for participants. Sorry, participants, some technical problem is happening.
Hello, sir. Please rotate your screen. Hello, Shuhida.
Okay. And that's it.
I think some network problem.
Pialda, you can present without slide. Can you hear me? Pialda, তুমি শুনতে পাচ্ছ? Pialda, you can present without.
You see, what is sustainability? Sustainability is basically a process that maintains its continuity without exhaustion. For example, river flowing.
Hello, Shuhida. I think পিয়াল বাবুর মাইকটা অফ হয়ে গেছে। আনমিউট করতে বলো।
There is a very poor network. That is the main reason behind these disturbances.
Yes, sir.
The PL Babu's end, there is a very poor network.
Yes, yes, sir.
So that's why the
Yes, sir.
data transmission is not happening properly.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because Piala already said that about these four connections yesterday.
Mm.
Is it audible?
Yes,
Ah,
yes, audible, audible. You can share
you see?
your presentation
No?
without slide. Yes, yes, audible.
Okay. Now you see, my first question is what is sustainability? And I have defined it is a process that maintains its continuity without exhaustion. For example, river flowing down. So whenever a river is flowing downslope, so if it does not experience any obstruction, that means it is হ্যালো continuing flowing. That means
না
it
বল
is
কোনো অসুবিধা
flowing with sustainability.
maintains continuity
Now come,
without
what is
river
unsustainability?
flowing down.
Now you see, it
Sustainability
is a break,
continue.
even complete exhaustion
না,
of
মেল
the
তো
process.
দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, কারণ মেল
Now,
দেখলি তো ওটা তো
for
ইউটিউবে লাইভ
example,
হয়ে যাবে। বল,
river flowing
আমি
down
মোবাইলে দেখছি, বল, দেখে
lost
দিচ্ছি।
due to human activity. That means, suppose a river is flowing down,
আচ্ছা,
but it experiences some obstruction or interruption due to human activity.
Hello,
That
Dept,
means
please
the
unmute.
river,
Please mute your microphone.
Okay.
that means whenever the river is flowing down slow, it may experience or may not experience interruption. If it experiences any interruption, then it may not flow sustainably. Or if it flows with interruption due to human activities, then we will say that it is unsustainably flowing. So it is due to human activity. Now come to my next slide. Here I have put a question. Why do we think so? Because unsustainable and conclusion it has been why because of unsustainable development. Now how unsustainable development. You see, there are issues highlighted three basic issues. One is demographic challenges, next is social challenges, and next is hierarchy. You see, demographic challenges to like resource tools is used so like robbery, energy, etc. And environment challenge includes high dependency on now come to the next. I have displayed example regarding demographic challenge. You see, I have marked a place name A where 100 years back there were 1,000 population. 50 years back there were 10,000 population. At present there are 1 lakh population. And temp is having an area of 10 square kilometers.
ওকে যে আমাকে চিঠিটা পাঠালাম, ওই চিঠিটা বলুন যে ওই প্রিন্সিপাল আসলে কি করতে চাইছে, আর এই প্রসেসে আমার আমার কি ওই যে পেনশন থেকে ওই কন্ট্রিবিউশন গুলো চালু হবে, যদি না হয় তাহলে পরে ফাদার প্রসেস। হ্যাঁ, এবার কেস মানে তো উকিল যেভাবে তো ঘোরা।
There is no network. I think is facing problem to present his presentation.
এই লাস্ট একজন সেমিনার দিতে তার ঝামেলা হচ্ছে। হ্যাঁ, সে আর কানেকশন করতে পারছে না, বলতে না একটা লিখিত লাইন এখানে হতো তো ওগুলো কিছু খুললে পরে সেটাও লিখিত দেখা যাবে। হ্যাঁ, আমি মোবাইলে বুঝে দেখছি।
হ্যাঁ পিয়ালদা, হ্যাঁ নেটওয়ার্ক চলে গেল নাকি? হ্যাঁ নেটওয়ার্ক চলে গেল।
সুরজিৎ মাইকে আওয়াজ আসছে না। সুরজিৎ প্লিজ টার্ন অন ইওর মাইক্রোফোন। সুরজিৎ কোনো সাউন্ড নেই। তোমার মাইকে শোনা যাচ্ছে না তো, তোমার ওটা অন করো। না অন করা নেই, তোমার এটা তো অন করা নেই। না না করো না।
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. I have already announced there is on Suji late. Okay. Now I am requesting to Mr. Sanjay Mondol for giving vote of thanks on behalf of our organizing committee. Please, Sanjay.
Thank you. Am I audible, Surajita?
Okay, okay. You are
And is it
audible.
clear?
Okay, is it clear? It is clear. It is clear.
A very good afternoon to everyone, honorable dignitaries and most valued resource person. It gives me an immense pleasure to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of our esteemed institution for this event. At first, we want to express our gratitude to all the eminent guest speakers, my respected teacher, Professor Moloy Mukhopadhyay, former head of the Department of Geography, Vishwabharati, Shantiniketan. Professor A.R.M. Taufiqul Islam, head of the Department of Disaster Management, Begum Rokeya University, Bangladesh, and then Professor Biplab Biswas, former head of the Department of Geography, University of Bardhaman, and Professor Pial Bosuroy, head of the Department of Geography, Coach Bihar, Panchanan Burma University, who have spent their precious time for us and graced this webinar with their presence and inspirational thoughts. I would extend my wholehearted gratitude to all dignitaries and participants for making this international webinar as a grand success. A warm thanks goes to our GB President, Mr. Naresh Chandra Bauri, our respected Principal Sir, Dr. Gautam Chatterjee, and IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Pallav Jyotipal, for their vision and commitment to work and its execution, and also for their moral support. Behind the digital stage, there is a person who silently working, helping, and monitoring all the technical matters is Dr. Samal Kumar Josh, Assistant Professor of the Department of Chemistry, Krishna Chandra College. I would like to know him great thanks for helping us from starting to end of this webinar. Without his support, it was not possible to execute the webinar. I would like to give special thanks to the convener of this webinar, Dr. Surajit Late, HOD of the Department of Geography, Krishna Chandra College, who direct and operate the whole program very smoothly. I also want to thank all the members of the organizing committee from the Department of Geography KCC, Mr. Goti Sundar Mukherjee, Mr. Subroto Dawasi, Mr. Rajbihari Gorai for their active collaboration. I would also like to give my thanks to all the faculties of our college for their moral support. Finally, I would like to thank our beloved students who are always live up to our expectations and our pillar of strength. So, thank you all for your unconditional love and support. We will look forward to same in future also. Thank you again. Now over to the convener.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Okay. Thank you all the participants. We'll meet in another event, another event. Pialda also sent message that he cannot able to perform due to his poor network, but he will send the presentation in the PowerPoint form to us. Then we will also share it through mail. Thank you all the participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the guests.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridhar.